Biden just announced $55 billion in reparations for Africa.
The stolen men and women and children were brought to our shores in chains, subjected to unimaginable cruelty. My nation's original sin was that period. We honor their descendants who for generations have helped build this country.
Are the Dutch chipping in? What about the English? What about the African chiefs who sold slaves to the West? Nope. We're going to get this check. So, are they going to get reparations in cash, gold, Bitcoin? No. Solar panels.
Today's announcement joined a portfolio of Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment projects already underway in Africa, including mobilizing $8 billion in public and private finance to help South Africa replace coal-fired power plants with renewable energy sources and develop cutting-edge energy solutions like clean hydrogen.
Sorry about slavery. Here's a solar panel. And oh, if you work in a coal mine, you're fired. Is this what Africa needs right now? You can't run a continent on green. You can't just skip industrialization and go straight to windmills. Africa's never going to get out of poverty by killing coal. Let's get the African economy spinning first before we start installing electric car charging stations along the Nile. Renewables are just a side dish. Fossil fuels, the main course. And I'm open to listening to people who feel black people are owed something from a country that enslaves their ancestors. But these green reparations are going to keep Africa in poverty. And what about slavery reparations in America? Because those are coming. Newsom in California wants to hand out $500 billion in reparations, $250,000 to any black person whose ancestors faced housing discrimination. That is a fortune. But a lot of California residents say that's not enough. So Newsom's reparations task force asked for advice from the community. What more can we do for you? And here's what they heard.
At the end of the day, any amount is too little and every amount is never enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we said from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected to get reparations as well, to pass down to their people.
I think the reparations should be as follows. Is to be gifted to us with gold and silver bullion to, as I said before, my antebellum slaves and ancestors and their heirs. It should be measured in the amount of 1 troy ounce of gold and silver per each antebellum slave and their descendants, according to the conditions of the mother for 16 generations. That equals 1,724 metric tons of gold and silver bullion. So we're asking that you give us reparations, because America is number one on God's list to be destroyed. So if you don't accommodate us and you don't assist us, just watch what our God is going to do to America.
America is benefiting from slavery and from what our ancestors did that we never got paid for. And I hope that you guys sue every other country that has benefited from slavery.
$200,000 is nothing for what my family has contributed to this country. We built this country. We serve this country honorably. We need reparations.
So reparations for my dead brothers and sisters, reparations in gold bars. And if you don't pay up, God is going to strike you down. This is going to be a fun debate. This reparations package is going to make COVID relief look teensy. And do you think there's going to be a little fraud? I mean, this is the same state that brought you the $2 million public toilet, the $400 million suicide net, and who gives you $1,200 a month for being trans, which they pay on the honor system. But it's not just California. Plans for reparations are sprouting up across the country. Boston, Illinois, St. Louis, dozens of cities and states. In Providence, they carved out $10 million in their budget for reparations, but their qualifications are so loose that even white people are eligible, as long as they make under $50,000 a year. The bottom line is, when you're giving out free money, there's never enough. And anybody who doesn't get cash is going to say, well, what about me? Did the Japanese get anything? FDR put them in internment camps. What about Native Americans? The Trail of Tears has to cost something. Women were disenfranchised for decades. Shouldn't they get back pay? Mexican Americans deserve reparations. We conquered Texas, and that was mean. If you had to bet, do you think slavery reparations is going to be good or bad for race relations?